When I started playing in the Apocalypse difficulty, I was not making any progress in the game at all. Even though I had max level characters, still I was constantly dying to enemies, mostly in a single hit. After dying and changing my equipment countless number of times, finally I was able to create a build which helped me survive and kill enemies instantly. Let's dive right into the build details, and simultaneously I will also explain how it works. So for the primary archetype, I'm using Challenger mainly for two reasons. The first one is the Prime perk, which is nothing but a self revive, and then the second reason is the Rampage skill, which boosts your fire rate, reload speed and movement speed for 10 seconds. And after dealing a significant amount of damage to enemies, this skill can even further extend its duration by 15 seconds. So you need a level 10 challenger for this, and then the other perks that this class provides is nothing but an added benefit for this build. The second archetype that we are using is the Hunter, and mainly we are using this archetype because of the Dead Eye perk, which boosts your range damage by 40%, weak spot damage by 15% and range critical chance by 5%. And then I'm using the Hunter's Focus skill to further increase range damage, range weak spot damage and range crit chance. And also the other perks provided by this class is nothing but an added bonus for this build. So now let's talk about the equipment. So for the armor, I'm using the Phase Royal armor because it's like pretty lightweight and provides a decent armor bonus. So I'm using the complete set for this. And then for relic, I'm using Void Heart, which reduces incoming damage by 50% for 4 seconds, and when the buff ends, it heals 100% of missing health. For relic fragments, I'm boosting my health, I'm increasing the mod duration, and then I'm also increasing my skills duration. So let's talk about the amulet. So for the amulet, I'm using Indignant Fetish, which is nothing but like taking damage from enemies increases all damage dealt by 25% and reduces all incoming damage by 10%, and it lasts for almost 20 seconds, which is pretty decent considering the damage bonus that it provides. And for the rings, so first ring we are using is the Black Cat band, which provides the bonus like when you are taking a fatal damage. So instead of dying, the wearer's health will drop to 1 and the movement speed will increase by 25% for 10 seconds, and it has a 2-minute cooldown. So it means your character won't die if it takes fatal damage. Instead it will drop the health to 1 and your movement speed will be increased by 25%, and this will reset every 2 minutes. So to support this ring, we are using the Ring of Crisis, which provides 25% shield once your health drops below 25%, and this lasts for 10 seconds. So the reason I'm using this Ring of Crisis is because let's say if you have triggered the Black Cat band bonus and your health is dropped to 1, so at least you would have a shield, 25% shield to sustain the damage that enemy does to you, and your character won't die instantly. Now for the third ring, we are using the Ring of the Robust, which is pretty simple. I guess it increases your max health by 10 and armor by 15. And for the final ring, we are using the Hardened Coil, which reduces all incoming damage by 3% for each 10% of missing health, and it provides max 15% reduction. So let's say if you have 50% of health, you would gain 15% damage reduction by using this ring. Now for the weapons, so for the primary weapon I'm using Nightfall, but it is not mandatory for you to use Nightfall, you can use any other primary weapon. It should be fine. And for the mutator, I'm using Deadly Calm. Again, this is up to you. If you are using any other weapon, you can always switch mutators based on your preference. And then again, the same thing with the handgun. It's up to you. You can use any handgun, any mod, and any mutator for this. Now I would only recommend using the red door staff as a melee weapon. The only reason for this is because the charge attack of this weapon can heal you. So let's say after dealing 650 damage, the next charge attack causes the spirit of the red door to stampede forward, dealing 416 damage to enemies and regenerating 10% of health to allies. And this I find really helpful in tough situations where you don't want to use relic but you need minimal health regeneration. So this is pretty decent for this build. If you want to know how to get all these items, then you can find all the details related to equipment in the description of this video. Now let's talk about traits. So for the traits, you definitely need max level vigor, and then max level endurance, max level spirit, and max level expertise. And next you would need max level fitness, and you also need max level buckskin. So for the final trait that I'm using the handling trait, which provides 40% weapon handling, but you can swap out if you don't need the weapon handling, like weapon spread and recoil by 40% reduction. Then you can use either Arcane Strike if you are using your melee weapon constantly, or else you can go for the Siphoner, which provides lifesteal. But I prefer using the handling trait because I'm using Nightfall, so I prefer this one. This build does not focus only on survival, but it can also deal high DPS in short amount of time. I have been playing with this build in my second campaign walkthrough since the Corruptor boss fight, and it took me less than 2 hours to reach Losomn, which is the second world, and complete the entire labyrinth. I would highly recommend you to try out this build, especially if you are playing in the Apocalypse difficulty. It will make things easier for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Let's go find the nearest world stone. Yeah.